Welcome to Larry King Live from Los Angeles.
Our next guest is one of the truly funny young people in this business, Mr. Garry Shandling. He hosts his own program regularly on Showtime. He sits in on The Tonight Show. He's a writer, performer, and he's... What do you want to do, the fly again?
No, I'm going to take this out until we take the phone calls.
Okay, it bothers you.
It's like there's noise coming through, and it reminds me of being at home when there's no calls coming in. So I'd rather, until I know there's calls coming in, then I can pop this thing in.
That's fair.
Okay.
Why the beard?
You know, I actually, that looks all right. I was in Big Bear this weekend, which is about 2 miles east of here, and I go camping, and I have a cabin up there. And so I don't shave when I don't have to, actually. This is the way I look when I don't have to perform.
I can't picture you in a camping-style life.
Well,
you're so urban.
Well, so I'm tired of all my friends telling me this. I have a cabin. I bought it Big Bear Lake. I bought it in 1980. I didn't buy it with any of the money I made in comedy. I actually was hit by a car in 1977. This is true, and there was a lawsuit. And with the money that I got from that accident, I bought this cabin. And now I want to put in a pool. I'm going to like take a walk on the freeway, you know, because whenever I make home improvements, I go and have an accident. But that's actually what happened. I was hit by a car, and there was this lawsuit. And I bought a cabin.
You were walking?
In 1977, I was in my car. Well, this is an ugly story. And you had a heart attack. So this really diminishes my whole thing.
Were you in your car or were you walking?
I was driving my car. This is me driving my car. I do Wonderful Mind. I'm driving my car, and the car in front of me was stopped at a stop sign. I was paying attention. It was very wet, and I came very slowly into this car, and I hit my brake and skidded right into this bumper and did no damage whatsoever. And I got out of the car, and there was an older woman driving, and I was trying to be very nice. I said, "Are you okay?" And it was pouring rain. I said, "I'm sure there's not a dent on your car." And she said, "Well, I'm sure there isn't." And we looked at the two cars, and you know, they were a couple feet apart, and there wasn't a mark. And she said, "Well, look underneath, like the bumper." So I knelt down in between the two cars to look underneath, and a car comes screaming down the street and smashed into the back of my car at like full speed and just smashed me in between the two.
Your head?
No, right across here. I mean, really, 2 inches either way. And, you know, I'd be Jim Bailey. So the thing is I'm fortunately here, and I got money for a cabin, so.
So that was heavy money then?
It was, it wasn't what it was worth. Actually, I didn't want to go. This is actually very funny. What happened is, I was a comedy writer then. I was writing for Welcome Back, Kotter at the time. And I couldn't write for the next 5 months. I was really seriously hurt, but I couldn't write. And so the lawyer that I had said, "Well, we'll go to court and we'll claim lost wages and what would have happened to you had you not been injured, how much more you could have written." And what they would have had to do was pull Jimmy Comack into court and all these guys who produced sitcom and said, "Yes, we would. Yes, he was a funny guy. Yes, we would have hired him." And they would have had to prove in court that I had any talent at writing comedy.
Would have said, "Let's read some of this."
Oh yeah, they would have stood up and read it. It would have been the Lenny Bruce trial all over again because, you know, it's fairly dirty material. So I just I said, "No, I can't do this to these people." So I settled for a one-bedroom cabin.
Tell me about the Showtime special. This is a sitcom, huh?
It has a premise. It's a series. Has a premise.
Garry Shandling is who in this show?
Well, so have you ever, seriously, have you ever seen it?
I've seen it twice, because of the time it's on, I'm on against it.
No, you're not against it. It's on like at 10 or 10:30 or 11 or 11:30. It moves around. It really moves around.
But its premise is what? Garry is who on this show?
Garry, I play myself. I play Garry Shandling, which is frightening. I don't know if you've ever played Garry Shandling, but it's a pathetic thing. And it's not a tough part. Demanding. It's just a pathetic part. Well, you got to.
No redeeming value.
There's no message. You know, people watch it and whine for the next half hour afterwards. You know what I mean? It's so.
What is going on in his life?
I play Garry Shandling. I play myself, a comedian who lives at home, and it's what goes on in my life. And next door lives my platonic girlfriend, and I have married friends, and it's about this single guy going through life and dealing with everything that one deals with in life. And while that sounds like, what are you saying? Somehow there's humor in there.
Is this something the other networks would not touch?
Well, I think the other networks, wisely enough, try and stay away from me. I think that We tried to sell it to NBC. I had a development deal with NBC, and they've always been supportive. You know, I host the Tonight Show and whatnot, and I have a great relationship with all of them. And the concept is very bizarre because I talk to the camera, and we go up into the audience, and it breaks all the rules of regular sitcom.
Our guest, Garry Shandling, we're going to go to your phone calls. By the way, I am told by Garry that I'm sitting, my head is almost directly in front of his home. Right?
Yeah,
There's the Ventura
I live in the Valley,
Freeway,
I live
right?
in San Fernando Valley, I live in Sherman Oaks, so you go up the Ventura Freeway here.
And get off what exit?
You get off, well, at the Woodman exit. I mean, it actually says this is where Garry lives on the freeway, because I want people to come by. If you're watching
So it says this is where Garry lives, over the
right up
Woodman
the street.
Avenue exit. And you
Yeah.
go left under the exit?
You go left, but actually, yes, you do. Oh,
You
you,
go under the-
you
No,
should
I don't
come
know,
over.
I'm asking you.
You should come over. You do. You go left under the exit. Here, I'll write it down for you.
All
You
right.
come over.
We'll take a call, Norwich,
We'll stay up
Connecticut.
late at night and talk to people. It'll be great.
Norwich, Connecticut with Garry Shandling.
Look up my
Hello.
ham radio.
Norwalk.
I'd just like to ask Garry if he has any plans to make a feature film.
A feature film.
Well, Alan Zweibel and myself, who produces the Showtime series with me, he and I are writing a movie called It's Garry Shandling's Movie, because we couldn't come up with a title. And it's going to be, we're in the midst of starting the script, so I can't say that much about what it's about, because it's going to change as we go along.
You were first a writer.
Yeah, I was
You
at-
like performing as much as writing? Some don't.
I still actually don't know where I'm going to end up, because I write so much on the show, and I still love writing, and I'm going to write the movie along with Alan, and I love writing, you know. I had gotten bored writing situation comedy. I wrote for a lot of sitcoms, which is why I started performing mostly, because I like the freedom of being able to be funny in the way that you're funny, rather than the formula. And I love writing my show, so...
No, or as if I told you you're going to be a writer forever, that would not give you dismay.
No, I often think about that, so no, it wouldn't.
Washington, D.C. for Garry Shandling. Hello.
Hello, Gary. How's it going?
Hey, how's it hanging?
Okay, pretty good. I just want to get your opinion on what you think about the new wave type of comedian as far as the smart aleck role goes, and as far as the street savvy black guy thing goes.
The street savvy black thing, you mean the kind of thing I do?
Right.
Well, you know, it's funny, I was talking about this last night to a friend of mine, Sam Kennison, who is fairly dirty, is very funny to me. And I love him, so...
The Bobcat is funny.
And Bobcat's funny, and you know, I just think...
on the artist?
I think as long as the guy's being true to himself, that it's terrific. It's only if a guy's forcing something one way or the other, whether it be real clean material or real dirty material. I see guys that just try and focus on writing clean television material, and they're the most boring thing in the world, because they're just out there saying, hey, you know.
Yeah. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, first of all, Mr. King, I would like to say that I watch your show often and I enjoy it very
Well,
much.
thank you. Thank you very much.
And my question is,
Yes.
Gary, I'd like to know what your feelings were about being asked to be revolving guest host with Jay Leno on The Tonight Show after the Joan Rivers dispute.
A revolving host.
Yeah, you get a little dizzy. You get, well, I don't know what to say about that. Jay, of course, is terrific, and he's terrific when he's on your show. I've seen him often, and it's great. I wouldn't want to host the Tonight Show any more than I do. I have 4 weeks this year, and coupled with the Showtime series and the movie
Reason?
I have to write,
Too much to do?
it's perfect. Yeah, it's
I mean,
hard
you
to do
wouldn't wanna be
everything
the
as it
permanent
is.
host.
No, I mean, I couldn't be the permanent host, because there's this talent barrier. No, I don't know how Johnny is funny night after night for 25 years. I mean, you know what it's like 25 you've been doing it that long, haven't you? Night after night after night. And there's not pressure for you to be funny on top of it, and you're a funny man, and Johnny to do it night after night. And of course, David Letterman's funny night after night after night.
You can't do that.
Well, you know, it's just amazing. I'm sure that
gotta
it's something
save the writers.
you have to become one with the show and whatnot to be funny night after night. And when I'm done hosting for a week, it's a pretty exhausting experience. I mean, it's something I couldn't do now anyway.
Do you
because of my
ever
other
get to
commitments.
talk to Johnny?
I don't get to have long, in-depth conversations with Johnny, although I begged him to. I've said, hey, come on, let's hang out and go to the beach and stuff. But he's a very nice man, and very
Does he
supportive of me
critique
from
your
when I
work?
started. when I first started to do the Tonight Show, he would sort of lean over during the commercial break and say, "Hey, you know, why don't you put that joke at the end that you could do up there?" And that's a neat discussion to have. Yeah.
But as host, he doesn't critique your work.
No, I've actually asked him. I said, "Man, how do you do this night after night? Any tips and everything?" He said, "You're doing fine." And I've asked him about my hair and stuff like that.
What do you say about that?
Talk to John Davidson.
Los Angeles, hello.
Hi, hey there, Gary. How you doing?
Hey, how's it hanging?
Pretty good. Who did your hair?
There's a guy named Martin Derrick who's cutting my hair right now.
Martin Derrick.
Yeah, and he
Bo
has...
Derrick's relative?
I don't believe he's any relation to the Bo John thing.
Okay.
Oil
Next
Derrick,
question,
I think,
sir.
is his closest.
Oil Derrick. Next question. Was that
Oh, is that it?
I like the new look a lot. It looks good.
What's new about it?
Well, you're always constantly talking about your hair.
Yeah, well, it looks good today, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Don't
Was
you?
there a
I like
woman
the
in your
back.
life, Gary?
I've been dating, I'm kind of guest dating a woman right now. It's very similar to guest hosting. I think her current boyfriend is on vacation, and then I come in and
You
fill
come
in
in
for
and guest date.
Yeah, I fill in for a week, and it's just been going great. I'm like 4 nights in a row. I think one more night, and then I'm exhausted. It's the same kind of thing.
Same kind of pressures.
Same pressure.
And you wonder how he does it every night, right?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
We'll be back with our remaining moments with Garry Shandling, who ain't wound up too tight after these words. Our guest Garry Shandling, his new season of episodic television on Showtime starts Friday night, the first of 54 episodes, 50 shot in one night, the other 4 done over a 4-week period.
Yeah, I think those are reruns starting on Friday.
Oh.
Sorry. And I think the season starts October 30th. Sorry.
You mean you gave us the wrong information?
No, I think that I did everything right, and then it was changed somehow. There's lots of calls coming in. Would you have just mentioned that so people knew?
Lots of calls are coming in.
Okay.
Tomorrow night on this program, Dabney Coleman will be here, and David Horowitz, the consumer reporter. On Thursday night, John Forsythe and Carl Malden. And Friday night, Zsa Zsa Gabor and Don Rickles.
Hey, what can I say? You'll be dating her soon.
Granada Hills, California. Hello.
Gary, how's it hanging?
Hey, man, it's going great. How's it hanging with you?
Okay, listen, you know that tape, Garry Shandling Live, I was going to say, that's great. I was wondering when you're coming out with the next one.
Oh, did you see Gary Alone in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a home video.
Oh, you were on a home video?
Yeah, there's a $5 bill in every one of those boxes, so I want to recommend people, you know, if they're down and out, they should rent it, and then if the $5 bill isn't in there, I've heard it isn't on some, you should complain to the video store.
In other words, you rent it for $2 or $1.
Yeah, you make
But
$3.
You take it home and there's a $5 bill in it.
There's been some problems with the video store taking out the money, but you know how those places are.
So if you don't find the 5, certainly complain.
You should, complain.
Do you like working Vegas?
Oh, you know, it's just the same old story with everybody who works Vegas. It's a casino. The people are there to gamble primarily, and it can be a difficult situation.
It's troublesome.
You know? Yeah.
You have to work harder.
Yeah, and you know, it's not a homogeneous group. They're from everywhere, and you can't sometimes find the center of the audience.
Woodbridge, Virginia. Hello.
Hi, Gary. How you doing?
Hey.
My question is, I think one of the best parts of your show is your theme song.
Yeah.
And my question is, who sings it? And do you ever have him on your show? And if not, why not?
Oh, you know, I'm really embarrassed that I've forgotten John's last name, and I don't. It's I have so many things in my head that I have to do. I wish that I knew because he did a great job. Joey Carbone wrote the.
Her question is, why isn't John on the show ever?
Well, we've been thinking of having him actually sing the theme live, and now, okay, I feel pressured. I'll do it.
Well, I think you owe it to him.
Yeah.
Forgetting his last name, wouldn't you?
Alan Zoibel and I wrote the lyrics, which was an amazing thing to see 2 guys in a room who I don't know anything about music going, this is the theme to Gary Show, the opening theme to Gary Show, this is the music that you hear as you watch the credits. It was 2 guys like with a high school mentality writing the lyrics.
Do you wake up mornings and pinch yourself at all your success?
I pinch myself every morning, and it has nothing to do with my success. It's just a little ritual I put myself through right before I take my spoolies out of my hair. No, I can't. I haven't been able to sit down and be concerned with my success one way or another. Things keep going and going, and I have so much work to do that if I can't, I have to keep my mind on the work.
So the big thing now is the continuation of the TV and the movie. You're writing a movie.
Got to write the movie.
And are you going to perform anywhere soon? You're on the Tonight Show the week of the 28th. What about
I'll be hosting the Tonight Show. I don't have time to go on the road, but at some point, you know, I'd like to go and do a few.
Don't you like doing that? Isn't that the core of it?
Well, you know, I haven't been out in a while, and you do miss it a little, but It'll be a while before I have the time to go out.
Thanks, Gary. When will you shave?
I'm going to shave, I think, in about three weeks. I have it all figured out. It's a big day at my house, and everybody comes around and watches.
Garry Shandling. It's the Garry Shandling Show. It's Garry Shandling Show is on Showtime. We thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night with Dabney Coleman and David Horowitz. We'll be with you in 1 hour with the Larry King Radio Show on the Mutual Broadcasting System. And among the guests tonight will be truly one of the great actors, John Voight. Thanks. Somebody just come in? Thanks very much for joining us.
Well, they couldn't get through on the lines.
Now they're coming in to meet you. Good night. Say good night, Gary.
Good night, Gary. It's like the George Burns. You become George Burns now.